Nissan produces some of the most interesting looking cars. Nissan Kicks, which we reviewed 2 years back, was a handsome looking SUV. Nissan Magnite has a lot of responsibilities on his shoulders to revive the lost plot and take the sales chart up north. Nissan today is confident that competitive pricing and styling will get it back into the business. The front looks distinctively stylish with sleek headlamps, LED DRLs which look like a continuation of the LED elements inside the headlamps, the dual tone bumper and the nicely integrated LED fog lamps. But the Datsun-ish grille makes it look distinctively away from the Nissan family look. Even though the grille looks okay and gets finer details with thick outer chrome border, but traits of the affordable brand should have been avoided. What do you think about the grille? Please mention in the comments. Nissan has cleverly added elements to make the Magnite look butch.
Strong muscular creases at the bonnet, skid plates at the front, thick black wheel cladding, side door cladding with silver inserts, and dual tone skid plates at the back.
This is the top of the line model and you get a contrasting roof for a floating look.
Diamond cut alloy wheels and chrome door handles on the outside.
A lot is going on at the rear and this is the best looking rear for a sub 4 meter SUV.
Design of the tail lamps, roof spoiler, Magnite badging in the center, skid plates and cladding on the bumper uplifts the overall design.
The tailgate makes way for a 336-liter boot and 60/40 split seats for added space.
Interiors are actually more distinctive, gets a decluttered look finished in black and grey color combination with multiple screens. The dash is more driver oriented with a large 8-inch touchscreen display with wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto and a 360-degree camera display. The circular knobs for climate control house small screens which look cool. The third display is the 7-inch TFT instrument cluster which is easy to read and is well designed as well. Similar to its elder brother, Kicks, traction control, headlight leveling and cruise control can be operated from the buttons underneath the steering wheel on the right hand side. The tilt adjustable steering is nice and grippy. The steering controls are easy to use. Seats are comfortable and hug you well, similar to Hyundai cars. Only the driver's seat gets height adjustment. There is space for wireless phone charger under the air conditioner knobs, space for storage with USB and accessory socket, plus a decent glove box which is illuminated but lacks cooling. There are two cup holders near the armrest, but the armrest misses out on sliding and storage function.
The plastics on the dash and the door are quite hard and not very impressive. And the start stop button is weirdly placed near the air condition vents and not besides the steering wheel. Nissan engineers had quite a task to squeeze out as much space as possible and they have done a commendable job. Nissan Magnite gets 700 millimeters of couple distance which is best in its segment and this is evident by the wideness of the center tunnel and the wideness of the armrest. Shift to the rear seat and you will find that the ingress and egress is very easy.
The headroom and kneeroom is impressive. The flat floor makes it comfortable for the passenger at the middle. Rear passengers get a foldable armrest with smartphone and cup holders, a rear AC vent, accessory socket and adjustable headrests. On the safety front, dual front airbags, ABS with EBD, rear parking sensors, immobilizer and rear defogger comes as standard. The top trim gets vehicle dynamic control, traction control, hydraulic brake assist, around you monitor and hill start assist.
Before we start to drive, I would like to tell you that Nissan Magnite is powered by a 1.0 liter naturally aspirated petrol engine with 72 PS of power and 96 Nm of torque, mated to a 5-speed manual transmission. The second engine is the 1.0 liter turbocharged petrol with 100 PS of power and 160 Nm of peak torque. The engine is mated to a CVT transmission as well as a 5-speed manual transmission. Both the engines are 3-cylinder engines. So we are driving the turbo petrol with manual transmission first. Immediately as you start the engine, you realize there is a 3-cylinder hum which is evident but well controlled and is better than Renault Triber. The vibration on the clutch as well as on the gear lever is evident only when you release for the first gear. Post that, the vibration is not very evident. Inside the city, the Magnite is very comfortable thanks to the light clutch and the less gear shifts that is required due to the turbo petrol having low end torque. Road view is fantastic on this compact SUV as it gets high ground clearance of 205 mm. On the highway, at speeds of 100 km per hour, the RPM hovers around 2100, which is not quite high for a turbo petrol. On the highway, you might need to downshift only when the speeds are lower than 60 km per hour and you might shift from 5th to 4th. Engine noise is pretty controlled, but it gets very irritating if the engine is revved really hard. And the engine noise is not that sporty. The suspension damping needs to be improved on very bad roads. At most of the places inside the city or the highway, the suspension performs well. It is not as fine-tuned as it was with the Nissan Kicks that we reviewed 2 years back. Armrest is extremely small and the lack of sliding function makes it almost unusable on long drives. On the other hand, the seats have well bolstering and it makes it comfortable on long drives. The height adjustment on the driver's seat makes it comfortable for the smaller drivers. The pickup on the highway is adequate for almost 90% of the population. In case it is driven really hard and maneuvered quickly on the ghats or the turns, the body roll is evident. The brakes are solid and you won't feel unsafe at all, and the VDC makes it even more better. Wind noise is not very evident and it is a good thing on the highway at very high speeds. Performance for the 1.0 liter engine is very good and the pickup is extremely wonderful. Steering feedback is nice but still could have been better and should have weighed up even more, and that would make it extremely nice in terms of performance at high speeds. Power delivery is adequate for most of the drivers and even the enthusiasts would be happy with the high speed performance. We are now driving the CVT version and this is a 7-step CVT. It is well calibrated. There are no head nods. Obviously it's better than the AMT offered by other manufacturers. Even better than the 4-speed automatic which is offered on Vitara Brezza. Even though the power is slightly lesser than the manual transmission, but the pickup is almost similar, and out of the manual transmission and the CVT, we would pick the CVT as the better one. The CVT option offered by Nissan is well tuned and there is no rubber band effect which is present on all other CVTs present in the market. Even better than the CVT that was offered on the Nissan Sunny and Micra. Even the pickup is way better than the manual transmission. The noise insulation of the engine is also better on the CVT variant. So we tested Nissan Magnite in the automatic as well as manual transmission for the whole day. Now it's getting dark and I must tell you that Nissan Magnite is loaded with a lot of features and gets good engine as well as transmission options. The CVT gearbox option provided by Nissan is way better than the 4-speed torque converter and the AMT transmission provided by other manufacturers. With certain points like NVH to be improved and the suspension damping to be improved, Magnite is an overall good product. If it is priced well, it might turn around the sales chart for Nissan.